Hello ladies and gents, you know what time it is. It's Sunday 4 p.m. and we're DKW, a different kind of woman. We're different because we're strong, independent and unique. On today's show, we're going to be talking about smiling. Now, is there more to a simple grin, and can your smile make you more confident? Well, we've got loads coming up in the show, and if you want to learn how to use your smile, take a look at this video. Next, we're going to evaluate different smiles. And at 4:10, find out what the people on the streets think with Jennifer Lon. At 4:25, we'll be looking at summer smiles. And later, we'll be speaking to body language expert, Michael Carter. Hi, so as you know, I'm back in the studio and I'm not alone. I have my lovely co-presenters with me. I have the Merry Muti, the flawless Flavia. Flavia, you're a new face with us.
Oh, we're happy to have her.
Yeah, but I love your smile. I was going to say that. We're talking about smiles today, so I am going to pick on you with your smile. And I have the divine Diane. Diane, you're looking really gorgeous today.
Thank you very much.
Love it.
Thank you.
I can see myself though in the reflection, and I don't know if camera one, can you see, look, I actually match the background. I feel like I have a snap moment. But anyway, we'll progress with the show. Seeing as I've got everyone smiling. Ladies, you know, I want to throw it out there. What do you think about smiling in general? Do you think it's important? Is it something that is a very important element of one's confidence, of one's body language? What do you think when we say smiles?
Yeah, I think it is important because you know, smiling opens you up to people. It kind of makes people feel comfortable around you, and whatever we can do to make people feel comfortable around us is very important. So yeah, for me it's a very important thing.
I mean, Flavia, I picked on you and said I loved your smile. Can you smile for the camera? I think she's got such a cute smile. I genuinely love your smile. What does smiling say about you? How do you feel when it comes to smiles?
I think whenever I don't know what to say, I can smile and you just break the ice, you know, and then makes me to relate to people and to come across nicely. Just make people feel welcome and warm.
Yeah, it's true.
I think it's really nice to have a first impression with a smile. Yeah. And even when you're walking along the street and someone just looks at you and smiles, you think, oh, that was so nice. It's really, it's so warming and welcoming.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Well, I'm going to test your smiling skills and see if you can recognize a couple of smiles. We're going to have a body language expert coming on, so he can hopefully correct us if we're all wrong. But I've got a few smiles that I want you guys to take a look at, because I've got this little thing here that speaks about smiles, and it says, a smile, of course, is one of the most important things that can give you power, and it's one thing that makes you fuel a conversation. A smile has many unspoken messages, and through a smile you can ignite a host of emotions and interactions. And apparently the human brain has got two circuits for controlling smiles. So you've got the cerebral cortex that controls the conscious smile, while the deep primitive brain structure handles the expression of emotions. So we're going to be looking at these expressions and seeing if you can decipher the two and see if you can spot out which smile means which. So I don't know if you can put the smiles up. Let's go for the first one, and I want to see what you guys think about it. So there's Marilyn Monroe with the famous drop jaw, rather, smile. What do you feel when you see that smile? What do you think about that smile?
Fake.
Really?
It just, I don't know, it looks fake to me. It does.
What do you think, Flavia?
You know, it looks like those smiles that you put up for camera. Yeah, go on, Flavia.
Maybe like too much? Maybe.
What do you think?
I think she's trying to show, I have it all.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm looking at her smile, and, you know, from what I can see there, I don't think it was fake. I think it's a genuine, hello, I'm seductive smile. Because she did have that kind of whole ambience about her, Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. So let's see what our body language expert thinks later on. What about the turn away smile, so number 2?
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I loved it.
I definitely agree. It gives you that kind of emotion of, oh, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
It's like she's actually being shy, isn't it?
Yeah, it gives that impression. Do any of you have this smile when you feel shy?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Shy. shy, definitely I do. I do tend to take a picture like that when I'm very, very shy.
I think I have...
Shy Miss Motti?
It happens. It happens. Hello, it happens. I do get, you know what? People don't know this, but I really, I know. I'm very flamboyant and out there. But whenever attention is consciously on me, I don't like it. I get shy. So whenever I know that I'm going to be speaking in front of people or I'm going to be taking a picture, things like that, when I know that attention is on me, although attention seems to be on me quite a lot, but I am shy.
Okay. But then I have to be honest, I haven't seen you smile like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I've been comfortable around you, so I haven't been really shy. But if you see some pictures that I take, it's all, especially if I don't know what to do, how to pose, I've taken pictures like that.
Mm-hmm. So then what about this next smile? What do you think about it and what does it say to you?
Is she smiling?
That's the closed lip smile. She looks rather tight-faced, doesn't she? Like, I'm really serious. She almost looks, in my eyes, psychopathic.
Mysterious.
She actually looks sad.
Yeah.
It's like it's a fake. She's really trying to put that smile on her face. Like,
yeah.
See, it's so weird how we all have different opinions, because I'm looking at her smile thinking, she looks like one of those crazy girls from the horror movies that are coming out with a knife behind you like, I'm going to kill you. No, seriously, she really does. I'm just looking at her and it's like, okay, you think so? Okay, it's only me.
I'm going to say the complete opposite of what you're saying. For me, she looks like she's kind of like begging for approval, kind of. Kind of like, can you like
desperate, kind
me?
of like desperate for something. Like there's something behind that smile that she's trying to scream out, but she's not saying it.
Perhaps, you know, it's so funny that so far, we've got some more smiles, but so far we're all saying different things about some of these smiles, and apparently we all should have a subconscious way of picking out what all of these smiles mean and getting it all right. But let's see if we'll get the next one right. What about this one? This is the lopsided smile.
Oh, please do me a favour. That's the kind of smile she's saying.
Kind of like a sarcastic smile.
Really?
I get that too. I get that too. So, although I have to admit, Diane has just put that idea in my head. But and that's what I get from now on.
But for me, I think she also looks like she's actually kind of like, oh, did you just ask me a question? Am I supposed to answer this right now? Kind of smile. You know, like, you know when, for example, it's happened on the show a couple of times where someone throws a question at you that you're thinking, oh, she didn't go there. No, I'm not saying this on national TV, and you're like, oops.
Yeah.
We've got another one as well. Confess, ladies, have you ever been in this situation where you've had to force a smile? That's allegedly a forced smile. Do you think it's does it look like a forced smile?
No, it doesn't.
No, not for me.
It looks like, for me, it looks like he's making a move. He's like, I'm coming for you. It looks like a plantation smile.
Okay, I don't know about you ladies, but don't you think a forced smile is like...
No, I think that's like he's trying to be a sex symbol kind of smile.
So what would you say a forced smile is?
Forced?
Yeah.
It's like, it drops very quickly.
Sorry, I should have had the camera on Mutti's face at that moment. She tried to give a forced smile. Can you do it again? I need to get someone to catch her out. Oh my gosh, it looks so terrible. She can't do it now. She's giggling away. Well, you know, the show is all about smiles. I mean, let's go to number... can you tell what type of... Actually, I'm not going to tell you what this smile is. Can you tell what this smile is before I tell you?
It's a grin, isn't it? That was a grin, the first one.
What about this one? What kind of smile do you think it is?
Real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a genuine smile. And I think you can even see it within his face, because he's got his like... I think you can tell when someone's really smiling when they've got the wrinkles in their eyes and when you can see the smile from their eyes. What do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, we just see a little bit, but his hands as well kind of say a little bit like, oh, you know, I'm really into this moment. So yeah, it just seems a little bit warm and genuine.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you know what? Before we delve into more smiles, let's take a look at what Jennifer Lawrence had to say on the streets of London. Can the Londoners really tell a smile from a smile?
What makes you smile?
Happiness.
Yeah, being happy and seeing other people happy.
Sick, cynical thought inside my head, you know. No, it's true, it's true. I have strange and very secret thoughts.
Things that are funny, things that are sad, things that are boring, things that are fun. I don't know, everything.
For example, when I can find something special I've been looking for when I do my genealogy, and I've been looking there for hours, and then suddenly it is there.
Food, if I'm honest.
My new husband makes me smile.
Who's that?
Oh, he was going to say that.
I did too, but apparently I don't make him smile.
Yeah, my wife. She makes me smile.
And how can you tell that a smile is insincere?
By the eyes give it away. You can tell. Yeah, it's just something in the eyes, and you can tell that the smile's not sincere.
You can hear it on the voice, and when you see the person, you can see if she or he is serious.
I don't think you can't tell if you're good at it. I can fake smile. Like, see?
You see, that's fake.
Compare that to a real one. See? You can't tell.
I have never tried to tell that a smile is not fake. I like all smiles.
Just intuition, I reckon. Yeah.
The eyes give it away. Or like, yeah, I'd say eyes.
Hi ladies and gents, during the break we were having a little bit of a giggle with smiles and tried to decipher some of the smiles that we saw in the first segment. But take a look at this video. Some of our DKWs had some fun at a dentist launch party, so take a look and see how they got their teeth whitened for their smiles.
So this evening is all about join together and have fun. You know, people, they are scared to go to the dentist, and I want to create an environment that is friendly, familiar and nice, where the people can talk, they can discuss about their problems with the smile, if they are not happy, which are the solutions. And we can do this in an environment with music, wine, fun. The smile has a huge impact in people's life. People are very embarrassed about their smile, and they're very conscious and they're very aware, and this has a huge impact in their emotion, in their life, in their psychology. So these people, they always trying to look what is around them. They're trying to do more research nowadays in internet to see if there is solution to create the perfect smile. And now there are many solutions to create the perfect smile.
Yeah, what was a good smile? A smile can tell a lot about a person. Sometimes, obviously, I do the whole moody thing, and like, obviously, because that's what catwalks are about. Even when I'm walking down the street, it's all about moody. But once you've cracked me, then you've got the smile. It means that you're a keeper.
So it's very important to be positive in life, so you attract more positivity in everything you do.
It shows so much of the personality of the person. It's a big thing, smiling, that if we feel unsure of our teeth, for instance, we don't smile. And then people don't approach us or don't see us as approachable or as friendly. So smile is everything.
I went through a very serious domestic violence relationship, and I was going through that for about 10 years. And I think about 2 or 3 years into the relationship, my partner at the time hit me directly on my face, which caused my teeth to disalign and come out. I've always had really, really good teeth. And for years, while I was with him, you know, he always made a point of saying that there was nothing wrong with you, but everyone else, my family was saying, oh my God, what's happened to your teeth? You know, and obviously I wasn't telling them about what was going on, so it was just like, where has this come from? So when I eventually struck up the courage to leave him, I just thought, you know what, there was a period where I needed to get over him. And once I was over that, I just thought, you know what, I need to find me now. I need to find me, not the person that he made me to be. And so, yeah, I just thought, well, you know what, the first thing that I need to do is get rid of what he did to me, because literally every day that I would look in the mirror, I would just think, oh my God, I would just remember that incident. So yeah, that's what literally inspired me to you know, make over my smile. And I just want to teach women out there as well, you know, even though you've been through a really, really hard time, and you know, we're very strong individuals, you know, and it's all about sort of motivating and inspiring them into a new age and bettering themselves, and if they can do it, then why not?
So our producer attended the launch party of the Favera Dental Clinic, and she's arranged for us to get our teeth whitened, and this is a lovely birthday treat for our lovely Motties.
I'm looking forward to it. This is the best birthday present ever.
Fabulous. Okay, let's see how we get on.
You never fully dress without a smile. Who cares what they're wearing on Main Street or Savile Row? What you wear from ear to ear, not from head to toe. That matters. So Senator, so long for a while, remembering you're never fully dressed. Though you may wear the best, you're never fully dressed with.
Okay, so we just had our teeth whitened. So birthday girl, how was it for you?
Oh, I'm so happy with the results. I really am. You know, when we first arrived, I was a bit nervous. I didn't look it, but I was. Because, you know, dentist, you kind of imagine trauma, pain. And then I thought, uh-oh, I didn't know what to expect. But actually, it wasn't bad at all. I felt no pain. It was quick, 25 minutes, in and out. So I really enjoyed the experience.
So on entry, we were giving a chart. Yeah. How many shades lighter did you go?
I think it was about 4 shades lighter. I was like kind of nervous, but it worked.
4 shades lighter, but it looks so natural. It's beautiful. Actually, the trend right now is to have a natural looking smile, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so let's give them our smile.
That was absolutely lovely. I wish I could have my teeth whitened and get my smile ready for summer. Anyway, that's a different topic at hand. But ladies, you know, smiles are generally universal, so you can go to any country in the world and someone will smile, and you know that it shows something usually positive and so on. And sometimes smiles can be cultural things. But also, on the flip side, I think sometimes smiles can, you know, cover up something, or you know, sometimes you can smile through pain and so on and so forth. So I want to go into a little red card, green card and throw some questions at you just to delve into whether or not your emotions, your facial expressions and your smiles can change your environment. So my first question is, do you think you should smile even when you're unhappy? So red card, yes. Green card, no. And you have to give me legitimate reasons why you agree with your card selection. So who wants to go first? Oh, I do. Diane is a definite green. I want to see the other two.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to be on the fence.
I'm not on the fence, but there's no, it depends. So
no, it doesn't. You have
depends.
To be evil.
Oh, so okay, I'll go red. Red.
So you're saying no.
Red. Yes.
You're
green.
saying okay. You're saying yes.
You can smile.
Okay, you're allowed to agree or disagree.
Yeah.
Are you saying green card? Okay. Do you know what, Diane? Seeing as you were quite, you know, strong on the subject, you go first. Why do you say green card?
I say green card because, you know, sometimes you can be going through a situation, a circumstance. Right now, I'm going through a tragedy and the outside world wouldn't know it. I smile, I carry on, I'm happy, you know, and they wouldn't know that. that's happening in my life right now. So yes, that smile that brings, it's kind of like a tonic. It brings something out of you, and it's really good to keep on smiling.
It sounds really positive, but I'm going to throw the question at you two as well, because you both lifted up green card. But wouldn't you say that that's a little bit hypocritical, because it doesn't reflect what is really inside? Maybe, for example, if it helps you get through something, that's one thing. But on the flip side, there might be someone that's like just smiling for the sake of smiling because they don't want to tell people that they're upset.
Yeah. First of all, I do not think it's hypocritical, and that's normally the perception that people put upon someone who smiles through a tragedy. Oh, you're being fake, you're being hypocritical. And I don't. I think it's really unfair, because you might find people who handle a situation, a tough situation, with strength, isn't it? You handle it with strength. Although you know that the situation is tough and you're going through it, you're able to appreciate what you still have and the things that are still positive in your life. So if you're appreciating what's positive in your life while you're going through a tragedy, it doesn't make you hypocritical. It just makes you someone strong and someone grounded. And I think that it's very unfair. For example, I had a friend who had their dad pass away, and she said that, you know, she was with her husband and they were having like a very cheerful moment, and she was laughing and been made to feel guilty because she was laughing, having lost her dad. And the guilt came from the perception that society puts on us, that we have to mourn and completely switch off. Mourn and grief and completely switch off from what is positive. So although you go through tragedy, you still have positive things that you can hold on, and those positive things can help you pull through a difficult situation. So don't make your friends feel guilty.
Don't make me feel guilty. I was just throwing a question out there. And you know, the next one, ladies, that I do want to throw out is, do you do what's expected of you then in that case? Red card for no, green card for yes. So do you do what's expected of you in terms of, like, for example, I'll put it from this angle, emotionally. Do you do what's expected of you dependent on that situation?
Not always.
No. You know what, Flavia, I'm going to be nice to you. I'm normally a no-no for our co-presenters being on the fence, because I'm the only person allowed on the fence. But why do you say green and red?
Because I've had situations where I could smile even though I was going through something hard, and I've had situations where the emotions took the best out of me, and I forgot about smile, and I just had to open up and say what was going on. And it is a choice, but it's hard to choose sometimes when emotions are on the surface, isn't it?
I completely agree with what you're saying. I think we as people should be genuine, right? So you should opt for anything that's genuine. So if that smile through tragedy is genuine, you are smiling because you're genuinely appreciating what's going on in your life, then go ahead. But there are moments that you're not going to smile. It's not going to be pleasant. It's not going to be easy. So then also be genuine and represent what's really going on inside of you.
But then I really want to get down to the nitty-gritty. Would you do what's expected of you? So in that situation, like for example, if you're expected to smile, would you smile for the sake of doing it?
Yes.
I would smile.
See, because that's why I thought I would.
I think it all depends where I am and what environment I'm in.
Okay.
You know, like I'm here and I'm smiling. I don't feel like smiling, but my smile isn't fake.
Right.
It's genuine. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not false. If I was at home, say, I'd be sitting down and I wouldn't need to smile. My husband would know how I'm feeling inside. I wouldn't need to, I might smile at him, but I wouldn't need to, he would know how I'm feeling. So not all the time. If I'm amongst you guys and, we're just sitting in the dressing room, I won't need to just sit there with a constant grin on my smile. Face, because it's not needed. So no, I say no.
So you are actually saying you do it when it's needed?
I don't always do it when it's needed, no. I'm not doing it because I'm here on television. This is genuine. This is me. I naturally always smile, to be quite honest.
So then that means, sorry, sometimes when you don't smile, people must automatically think that there's something wrong.
That's what happens to me. What's wrong with you? And I have a frown. It's hereditary, so I have a frown sometimes. And you know, someone will say, are you okay? Is there anything wrong? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm fine. Because you're not smiling. Okay. I don't have to smile 24 hours a day, actually, you know. So yeah, I have the opposite effect.
You know, I answered yes, that I do what is sometimes expected.
Yeah.
Because I think for me it's part of etiquette. You know, when you I mean, it makes me mindful of the people around us, because I'm not an isolated island living by myself. So I do take into consideration how people will react to what they're seeing. And so because I want to make them feel comfortable around me, I will smile when it's expected to, even though sometimes I may not feel like it. But it doesn't mean that it's fake. It's just a way that I'm extending myself to people and making them feel one. So I'm living outside of my box, in a sense. I'm, you know, stretching myself outside of my box.
So then, even going slightly off of the topic of smiles, do you, for example, need to experience success to continue with a project? So I'm going more onto this side, and she's giving me that tight-lipped grin. I'm going on more to the side of the more emotional element of it. Do you need to feel the success? Do you need to feel joy? Do you need to feel that something's going to work out in order for you to carry on with that thing? I.e., you know, a project at work or some sort of thing that you're working on with the family. Do you need to feel that element of success to carry on? Or are you the type of person that says, look, right, it's not working out, let's jump ship and move on to something that will make me feel better?
I don't need to feel. No.
Are you? Oh gosh, you're all agreeing. Let me know then. Why do you say that? And do you know what? For someone out there, I'm going to be green because I just like to be argumentative. Why do you all say red?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't always the case with me. It's something that I've actually recently learned. You know, because I went through. The past year, I went through a lot of failures. It just felt like everything was going wrong. And obviously now, when you're going through it, you have to learn to deal with that failure. And I learned to deal with it by validating myself, by learning to validate myself. So I don't necessarily now, although I used to until last year, depend on my success to feel well.
Right.
I can now work through failures and still validate myself through failure and make myself work through them, and you know, and eventually push on to success. So now I don't depend on success to feel good. I don't depend on success to validate myself, but I used to till last year. And it was my failures. It was like constant failure after failure after failure after failure after failure that actually led me to work through that hard obstacle within me.
So then, ladies, I would like to also then ask, do you think the opinions of others then matter? Does that have an overall bearing on your emotions and how you feel? So for example, like imagine you're going through all of those failures and it's like you've pushed yourself to validate yourself, and now it's like you've got the opinions of others now in, you know, on the scene. Do you think that should matter too much?
I do weigh people's opinions, because your friends make you think about things that you wouldn't think of, maybe. So I mean, we're limited in what we experience, right? Our experiences are limited to what we know, to what we've been through. But you might find someone who comes into your life and has had a different experience, and they share an opinion that makes your wheels turn and sort of see things in a different light. So I do weigh a lot of what my friends say, but I'm not dependent on it. So I'm not, for example, if a friend comes to me and says, oh, Moti, I don't think for example, gives me a criticism, or, you know, I think you did this and this and this wrong. Before, because I depended on her acceptance, it would immediately crush me emotionally. Oh, there, I failed again, I did that wrong. But now, because I don't depend on her to feel well about myself, when she comes with a point that sounds like a criticism, I will listen to it, open myself up to it, understand what she's saying, and learn from the things that she says. So I weigh a lot of what my friends say, and I value what they say.
Do you think you can control your body language though when they're giving their opinions? And that's what we're going to go into after the break, because we're going to have our body language expert with us on the couch telling us how we can be confident. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm not alone in the studio. I've got my co-presenters and we have the lovely Mike Carter, body language expert, with us here on the show today. Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I'm a body language consultant and I work with a huge range of professions, a lot with teachers in fact.
Oh wow. Okay.
Controlling pupils in a classroom, dealing with difficult situations, maybe aggressive parents, aggressive students, but not just with teachers. I work with all walks of profession, the police, with sales reps, company directors, anyone who needs to understand communication, which is everybody.
Pretty much, yeah.
On today's show, we're actually talking about communication, about a smile, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
We're talking about smiles, and we have like a divided opinion. We have divided opinions here.
Okay, that's good.
So we want to hear from the expert. Help us get to the nitty-gritty of things. Is smiling important? How important do you think smiling is in terms of communicating?
It's very important. Smiling is non-aggressive. That's the most important thing to remember. And when you smile, you make other people feel relaxed. So it's not always just about yourself. It's about the way in which you make other people feel. So so I mean, it's hugely important. Obviously, at the same time, and you can't go around smiling all the time because smiling is an expression of a particular emotion. And if you don't feel that emotion, I mean, if you're giving somebody some difficult feedback, then you don't want to smile because it's going to mess it up.
Yeah.
So obviously it has to support the persona that you wish to project at any one time.
Our first introduction was in the parking lot this morning.
Yes.
What would you say my smile was to you this morning?
You seemed very open and warm, which was nice, which is why I came up to you and said, I felt comfortable coming up to you and saying, is this the right place? Am I parking my car in the right place? So that was nice, but that's a good example, in fact, because a smile, it's non-aggressive. If you had been sitting there sort of with your head very straight, you have a really lovely way of putting your head slightly on one side, which again is non-aggressive.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
It's very animalistic. People with a very straight head appear to be, they not necessarily are, but they appear to be more confrontational and more aggressive.
Wow.
Head slightly on one side is non-aggressive.
Yeah, I need to do that more.
You guys are going to look stiff. It has to be natural.
Oh,
you know when we saw the kid who had we all went, oh, because it was warming. It's true, I agree.
So then, do you know what? A quick question I want to throw out there is, how do you tell if the smile is then genuine?
Well, the best way is think of the face being divided into two, the bottom half and the top half.
Right.
And the bottom half is what you think of in terms of the upturned mouth,
Yeah.
which is a conventional smile, which
Yeah.
is fine. But it's the top half that really shows the emotion. This little area here, the eyebrows. Can I show you something?
Yeah,
Here.
sure.
I
Yeah,
want
go
to show
ahead,
you
please.
a mask. Hang on, I'll show you this one first. Okay,
Mhm.
there's a mask. I'll hold it up to the camera as well.
You can see the
Okay.
eye. Yeah.
Okay, so there we are. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, this is exactly the same bottom half.
Ah.
Okay, I'll show it to the camera
right,
as
so
well.
the eyebrows are more like stiff.
So just out of interest, if that person is happy,
Yeah.
how do you read that? What do you think?
Looks quite almost angry, like aggressive, like they're going to do something to
maybe.
you.
Like, yeah, sarcastic maybe.
Could be sarcastic. Some people say a bit mischievous.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does look
But
mischievous.
what's interesting is that the bottom half is exactly the same, and those two faces are not showing the same expression.
Yeah.
But the mouth is.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's looking at the top half of the face that's really important. This area here expresses concern and anxiety and puzzlement, bewilderment, that kind of thing.
Wow. You see, I would have never ever thought that. And there's so much that you can see from facial expressions in general to decipher communications. I think it's something so natural to us that we don't usually pick it up and so on.
Well, what's interesting is you say you don't. I bet you do, in fact. You do pick it up, but you don't analyse it. Okay, so you would be able to see them. And the fact that I can hold those two masks up and you said looks a bit aggressive or they're criticising something or whatever, you can read that.
Yeah.
My job is to sort of to analyse it a little bit more and make other people that I'm working with able to use that to their advantage. In whatever, not in a manipulative way, but just, just to use it. Exactly, sure.
So does that top half work with your hands as well?
Hands are very different. If your hands, generally speaking, if your hands are facing upwards like this, you are perceived as having more warmth, more generosity, more kindness. And if your hands are this way over, then you're perceived as having more gravitas and more weight. And if you hide your hands, people won't trust you.
Do you teach people to smile for real? And if so, could you show us how to do it?
No, I don't. Not really smiling. I don't think I've ever taught anyone how to smile. I would teach somebody or explain to somebody that it's important. If somebody's giving an important speech, and they might come to me, and I would say, use your facial expressions. If you're trying to appear to be warm in front of people, then you need to do it with your face and you need to do it with your smile and your hands as well. But remember, of course, that it's not just the upturned mouth. It's the eyes and all this area here, and that's really hard to sort of to control. Yeah.
You know, one thing I wanted to ask is how do you, well, not how do you use your smile to your advantage, but what can you achieve through your smile? Like you just gave the example there about speeches, knowing how to control your facial expressions so that you can deliver a speech well and perhaps win the audience over.
Sure.
How could you use a smile to your advantage and achieve success through a smile, perhaps?
Well, I think if you go back to the idea that a smile is non-aggressive.
Right.
Okay. So if you want to be in a situation where you are warming to people and win people over to your way of thinking, then a smile will help you to achieve that. And always when you're smiling, when you're happy, and I've seen it just sitting here watching all of you, one person laughs, everyone laughs, because that's what happens, because you feed off people's emotions. So when you smile, you make other people feel warmer and more comfortable and more confident. And so, I mean, that's a huge advantage, being able to understand that.
Also, we make each other feel confident.
Well, you do. I mean, well, that's right. I mean, I mean, the whole history of the evolution of smiling and laughing is quite fascinating. That it used to be a sort of a primitive way of showing success and almost like a victory cry in battle. That sort of, the laughter would come and make everyone else feel good around you. So that's how it's evolved over the years.
You know, when you mentioned that when you're about to deliver bad news, for example, you can't obviously deliver bad news smiling. But also, if you want to deliver bad news and still be comforting to that person who's receiving the bad news, what sort of expressions should you look for? To make them comfortable with.
Okay, there are lots of things. I mean, one is that the head on one side is just, if you're breaking bad news to somebody or whatever and don't want it to appear to be too aggressive, just the head on one side is much more appeasing and much gentler than a straight head. Again, hands facing upwards. I know you're concentrating on the smile today, but the hands facing upwards also makes you appear to be more gentle and more warm and loving and approachable.
Yeah. You know, sorry, I know we are speaking about smiles today, but I do want to pick a bit on the body language because I guess it kind of connects with your smile.
Yes.
Well, how can you have confident body language? If you want to come across as confident, what key things could someone do with their body language to express confidence or to help them even become more confident?
Okay. The main thing, and this sounds a bit odd, the main thing is in your breathing, in the pattern of your breathing. When you're breathing deeply, diaphragmatically, from the diaphragm down here, you feel much more confident, and you give the impression to other people that you're more confident as well. So I would say it's all in the pattern of the breathing. When often people say to me, do you sort of spend your whole time analysing other people's body language?
I have to
Well, to a certain extent I do, but actually what I'm analysing is the way they're breathing.
You know, when since you walked inside, on set, I have to admit, I've been like very careful. Oh my God, what is he going to see with my body language? But I really hope you see that I welcome you on our set, and I really
it's lovely. It's a very warm environment here. But that again, it goes back to the smile and the laughter and everything. That's what makes it so. I mean, you're all smiling now. So it's nice. It makes me feel comfortable to be here. Which is what it is important. Yeah.
It is very important. And you mentioned something about you know, working with teachers and so on and so forth. In your experience, how have you helped someone diffuse the situation through body language and perhaps facial expression, like a smile or something else? Because, you know, if you've got a quite if I could say bad situation, i.e. teacher, pupils going AWOL, you want to control the class, what would you advise that person or teacher or whoever's there?
Breathe deeply. Sounds odd, but breathe deeply, because that will make you feel confident, and that will make the other person feel confident in your presence. Let me give you an example. If you had a young child who sort of came rushing up to you and said, oh, something terrible, what would you say? Take a deep breath. Calm down, take a deep breath. Okay. Now you can't. Let's say you've got a very aggressive parent coming in to see you because they're not happy their child isn't. Why is my child not in the football team? All that sort of nonsense. You can't say to the parent, just take a deep breath. But you can make them take a deep breath by breathing deeply yourself and remaining very calm and relaxed and confident and in control, and that will make the other person feel the same. So it's most of it is done through a pattern of breathing.
Do people look at people and, like, say you have two ladies, one's beautiful, and the other one's just average, and the beautiful one doesn't smile, but the average one smiles. Do people find that one more attractive than the one that's beautiful? Like an attraction with a
smiling is very, very attractive. So I would always say that you know, that if you're wanting to make yourself attractive to other people, not just to the opposite sex or to somebody if you're trying to find a partner, smiling is one of the best ways of doing it, because it is, and I was listening to you earlier, it is universal. Smiling is universal, and a lot of body language is not, it's cultural. But smiling is universal.
Oh wow, body language is cultural.
Oh, very much so, yes.
What makes you say so?
And if we were, I'll just give you a little example, that if I did this in the Far East, I would be saying to all of you, you already know this, you are lower than the sole of my foot.
Oh wow!
Goodness!
That is very, very
disrespectful.
You just would disrespectful. You just wouldn't do that. And the whole idea of personal space as well. Different cultures have different ideas of how close you can get to somebody before you invade their personal space.
Wow. Okay.
Lots of things. Lots of body languages. It's very cultural.
I was sort of a little bit aware of that because my husband and I are from different cultures, and so we've offended each other unintentionally. Things that he would do, I'm like, how can you do that? You don't do that. What's the problem? Because it wasn't a problem in his culture. So I agree.
Do you know what, Mark? It's been absolutely fantastic having you on. We've come to the end of our segment. Ladies, is there any last questions for our body language expert?
No.
I've answered all of it.
Do you know what? Because I secretly felt like I was hogging you. I just wanted
Yeah.
to ask one more question. What would you say are the main 3 tips then with your facial expressions and making sure that you show a good smile?
Okay, main 3 tips. You can't fake a smile. You have to genuinely feel happy and comfortable in order to do a good smile. And just remember that it's the top half, that if we just smile with the mouth turned up, it doesn't work. You have to smile with your eyes, and then you'll feel comfortable and make other people feel comfortable. The head thing is a good tip as well. If you want to appear non-aggressive, then the head. My dog is exactly like that. You say to the dog, "Do you want to go for a walk?" And the head goes over. Yes. And then the dog meets another dog in the park, and it's straight, aggressive. Yeah. And I say, "Come on."
Really good
head goes on one
example.
side. Yeah, so a lot of body language is quite sort of primitive and animalistic. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Mike, you've been absolutely brilliant. Loved having you on the show.
Yeah.
Hope we can get you back on again so you can help us to win some interviews and you're going to get our love lives moving and so on and so forth.
I'm sure I don't need
You've
to
been
do that.
absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gents, stay tuned because we do have more coming up on the break. Bye.
Now, people normally think that there's no greater influence as powerful as Hollywood, but I beg to differ because Godlywood is really making its mark in the world. Now, for those of you that don't know, Godlywood is an initiative aiming to lead women of all ages to become exemplary women of God. We teach women how to make a positive impact in their own lives and their families through monthly tasks and meetings. And one of the great things about Godlywood as well is that we also learn to be giving, so we go out and help our communities. And one of the ways we do that in the UK through regular visits to elderly homes to pamper them and to keep them company. We also have regular events to help abused women, and we have many more plans to help our community. I ended up overcoming lots of insecurities and bad habits, and I've grown so much, and one of the things that I finally beat was the shyness that I had, and I'm doing things that I never ever imagined that I would be doing. And we have many more plans to help our community. So to summarise everything, Godlywood really changes lives, and I'm so privileged to be a part of it.
My lifestyle before coming to the church was quite a reckless one. I used to go out clubbing every night. I used to lie in bed most of the day. I wasn't working, and I hadn't worked for about 15 years. My lowest point was when I stood on the edge of King's Cross Underground Station, and I really wanted to jump in the underground because I was just feeling so low, so depressed. I've been free from this addiction, it must be about 16 years now. I don't go to clubs anymore, I'm not addicted anymore.
You know, ladies, it was actually fun having Mike on the show telling us about body language and smiling. But, you know, onto a more heavy or more serious note, how can you control one's emotions? Because sometimes, you know, I loved what you said about smiling through pain, Diane. And maybe there's some people that are watching you right now thinking, but I'm not as strong as her. I want to smile, but right now I don't know how to. What would you say to them? Because, you know, it's one thing to learn now that I can turn my head to the side and, you know, come across more warm. But what if that person genuinely doesn't feel warm? What can we do to help them? What would you say?
Sorry, for me, my faith helps me a lot to smile. It gives me that peace inside. You know, a lot of people smile because they're self-confident, but for me, I am self-confident, but my faith gives me that peace. It gives me that strength to be able to be genuine and actually go through, you know, no matter what's been thrown at me, basically. So, you know, I would say for that person to, you know, find their balance, find themselves on how they would actually deal with it. You know, it's not wrong to say, you know what, I don't feel like smiling today because, but try to actually smile and see actually how that makes you feel different.
Yeah, yeah, definitely agree.
Yeah, I agree with what Diane said, because I believe it has to be something you believed. Do you believe that smiling will help? Because if you don't, then you won't do it. But if you believe that it will help, then you will do it.
Yeah.
It's not a mechanic thing, right? We're by no means saying, oh, smile your way through it mechanically.
Yeah.
But I think what helps it become genuine is when you kind of separate yourself a little bit from your emotions to analyze your situation. Because what Mike said is very, very important. Sometimes we just tend to go through things, but we take very little time to analyze things that we're going through. And when you analyze things, loads of things fall into perspective that help you go through, you know, the things that you're going through. For example, what we're saying, smiling through a tragedy, using that as an example. When you sort of analyze, then you start picking up, look, yes, I am going through this hard thing, but at the same time, I'm having victories that I can still be happy about. So that helps you then deal with the tragedy, because you're just not taking life as it comes and going through the flow, but you're taking time to analyze. I think analyzing is it's very important.
I mean, have any of you had experiences where your smile actually helped diffuse a situation that could have potentially gone sour?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of off track what I'm going to say, but yeah, it will make you understand what we're talking about. I lived with someone. I shared a house with someone, and it's so funny. And one day I came actually happy, very happy into the room, all bubbly and and chippy, and she said, "Oh, so today you're happy." Today you're happy. She said it like in passing. Oh, today you're happy. And then I was like, yeah, I am. And then like I said, started analyzing. Why did she say today? Does that mean other days I'm not happy? Because that was not the case. I'm always very happy. I'm very, very happy. I'm a happy person. But then that made me kind of realize what is leading her to think that I'm not happy. And then I sort of started watching myself when I'm really, really concentrating on something. Even now on set, if I'm going through my lines or whatever, and I'm like looking through my points, I kind of have this expression, you know?
Have you got, can you see her on the camera?
Because I'm like really, so it looks it looks like a frown, it looks very intimidating. And so many times she'd be around me when I'm thinking about my day, oh, you know what, I need to do this and I need to do that, and this expression will be on my face, and that's what she dealt with every day. Right. So she made me realize that I need to be aware of my expression. So now, sometimes it may seem like it's fake, but it's not. It's just me being aware of people perceiving me, and I do smile intentionally. Like sometimes I don't feel like smiling, but I smile intentionally in order to welcome people, and it has diffused a lot of situations.
Do you know why I even said that? Because I remember a very funny, well, not so funny, but funny story of a friend that she naturally has a very straight look, a very straight face. It's not that she's aggressive or like stuck up or anything. She naturally has this look, and I remember she went through a situation where she just couldn't understand why no one would ever approach her sentimentally in her love life, because, you know, she had that straight face. And it wasn't until someone told her that, you know, when you are around people of the opposite sex, for example, if you are in that kind of setting, your face gives an impression that it's like, don't talk to me, don't speak to me. And she didn't really realize it. And the funny thing is, when she started to change her facial expression, and people found her more approachable, to the point where a friend of a friend noticed her, and now she's married.
It's like what Mike said, isn't it? That the smile brings attraction.
It really, really does.
It wasn't that she wasn't attractive. she just didn't look approachable.
That's it. That's it. So, you know, sometimes we don't realize how powerful our facial expressions are. You know, that led to a life-changing event. It changed her relationship status, her marital status. And in your sense, it changed your living arrangements. Not that you had problems per se, but it diffused a misconception.
It made someone comfortable, more comfortable.
Made someone more comfortable. It's helped you through your strengths. So, ladies, facial expressions, and gents out there, and smiles are very, very important. You know, we're coming towards the end of our show. Does anyone have any final thoughts or conclusions before I do mine?
I don't think that, you know, having the material things in life will get you through that smile. You know, people think that they're happy and people are smiling because they have, you know, a car or a house, or, you know, there's many celebrities, you see them, they haven't got that smile on their face, but they have so much financially, you know, they have the material things, you know, they even have a few ladies on their both arms, but they're not smiling. So I think that a smile doesn't come from what you have, it comes from what you have from within.
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree.
And, you know, I would say find things that you can genuinely smile about. Find things that you can genuinely smile about, because that's where your strength lies. So what is it that is important to you? Is it your husband, your children? What is it that's positive that you can invest in and really find joy in your life? Because those things are things that you can hold on to when moments get tough. So get to understand yourself, get to know what really makes you genuinely happy, and invest in those things. Put time in those things that make you genuinely happy, so that they can carry you through hard moments.
Yeah, I love that,
I believe we have learned today that smile means a lot to us and opens a lot of doors, but it is important also for us to be careful, so in moments of difficulties we don't forget to smile, and we don't allow the situation to impede us from giving the best, focusing in the negative things that are happening around of us or with us, but being able to smile even when things are not the way we wish them to be, because the smile will help us to pass on to people something positive instead of...
I love that. It makes sense. And, you know, for me, it just homes in that it's all about a choice, you know, choosing to focus not on the material things, but, you know, working on your inside, you know, choosing to look at the positive things around you, i.e. your family or the things that make you smile, and choosing not to forget that you have a choice. You can choose to smile in that moment or not.
How nice is it, isn't it? Because sometimes you go to the supermarket, you go to the bank, you find some people, they have those ugly face to receive you, but others that are smiling, and then it makes you wonder, why is that one smiling and that one not? They work, they do the same job, but you see how we have this tendency to deal with things in a different way, and sometimes we can be quite negative.
And that's it. And on that note, I'd like to conclude, DKWers that are watching the show, make sure that you keep smiling. Make sure you keep smiling, because remember, you always have a choice, and this is not just with facial expressions, but in all areas of your life. You can choose to see the positive element. If things are going wrong or they're not going the way that you expect or you would like, always remember that you have a choice to look for the better, to change your situation around, or to fight for something even better than what you already have. And that in itself should give you the confidence and the boost to start smiling again. I don't know if you agree, ladies?
We do.
We've come to the end of our show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved being on the couch with you today. And Mike was excellent as well.
And I had fun with Flavia. It was really, really good to have you here.
It was good to have you here. You know, have a fun Sunday, enjoy yourselves, and don't forget to go on our website, www.dkw.me, if you want more information on the show. And take care, and we'll see you next week.